Okay, Renee, let's go ahead and let's finish up with this last topic, which is also of serious importance, and that is let's talk about individuals who think that just having a feeling that medical malpractice occurred and that feeling can be a serious justification for moving forward or bringing a medical malpractice case. And so I would just like you to talk a little bit more about that aspect, feelings, and what has to go into the analysis specifically on the causation side of things and how we have to analyze these cases with that when individuals contact us.
Yeah, when they do contact us, I always tell them that your initial, gut feelings or gut reactions should be enough to make you want to, start researching whether or not you need an attorney or whether or not you need to start getting the medical records or other documentation. That's about as far as your feelings really can go. To be honest with you, and I don't want to, sound cavalier about it, your feelings don't have any impact on whether or not malpractice actually occurred. What we need to prove or we need to show that malpractice occurred is that the doctors, nurses, or hospital staff deviated from the standard. So what we use to do that is we get the medical records. We have to have the records reviewed. We review them. We have to have an expert review them. And we have to have an expert that's willing to go on record to say, this is how the standard was deviated from. This is how, this is what was not done properly. Or this is what was omitted or something to that effect. So the thing is, the gut gets you in the door. The gut feelings get you in the door, but the records and review is gonna be what gives that connection between the act and the injury, and that's what we need.
The causation aspect of it, because that's where things can be problematic. For example, you can have a bad result, and Renee, we have most people who contact us, something serious, something really bad.
Well, they're not calling us unless they've had a bad result.
Really a bad result. That's a given. There is a bad result, but in our analysis, what we have to do from an objective standpoint is we have to be able to advise you as to how we can connect this bad result with an action or an inaction from the doctors, the nurses, the hospital. As Renee just said, that standard of care. What is the standard of care? Did they follow the standard of care? And if they did not, or if they departed from the standard, did that cause the injury or the harm? We can have cases in which we have bad results, and the issue is that we cannot connect up the actions or inactions from the doctors or the nurses as the cause of the injury. And so there are certain types of cases that can be more challenging than others, just simply because that, especially, Renee, I don't know if you want to speak on cancer-related issues, especially late-stage cancer cases.
Exactly. So I had I would say the honor and the privilege to speak with a family a couple of weeks ago, and their loved one passed away. And the loved one had a history of medical problems, and I think the most recent battle they had was stage 4 cancer treatment, and they were still undergoing chemotherapy and just had surgery a couple of years beforehand. But at stage 4, once the cancer has started to metastasize, there's really not much anyone can do, because it's has spread from the original location or the original origin of the cancer to other parts of the body. So when you have a situation where there's a stage 4 cancer diagnosis already, the body is already suffering from that, and the person goes into the hospital with other issues, even though maybe the doctors and nurses didn't do as much to treat whatever the underlying condition is or the new condition that the person is seeking treatment for, the cause of death could be related to the cancer, and there's no way to know that. So even if the doctor didn't give the medication in enough time, or you felt your gut's telling you that the nurse gave the incorrect medication or the wrong dosage of the medication, if we still can't pinpoint that cause to the person's demise, then
we're not going to be successful
exactly,
with the case.
We're not going to be successful.
And that is something that is really hard for sometimes people to understand, because like I said, they have that bad result, and it's really unfortunate. But Maryland law is really clear on causation. Causation in medical malpractice cases is a serious hurdle that as attorneys who handle these cases, we have to be able to get over that cause. I mean, we have to be able to make that connection. And one thing you don't want to be in a situation where your expert has to concede the fact that, yes, this other condition could have caused the injury. Yes, I do agree. Yes, that it's possible that this other thing could have caused it. Because you want to really be able to
pinpoint and isolate
you
it.
want to be able to isolate it. You want to have a good theory moving into the case as to your case, because you don't want to get that far into the process and then not be able to have a good shot at being successful. So Renee, do you have anything else on this topic, on causation and on bad results, not necessarily meaning medical malpractice? I know we've talked about a lot in this talk, but do you have anything else that you would like to add to that?
Well, I would tell people, still rely on your gut instincts, to get started. If your gut tells you something went wrong, it may have gone wrong. So what I would advise you to do, start getting medical records and start trying to find an attorney that can help answer some of your questions. So once you gather the medical records, you can speak with someone and you tell them what your gut reaction is, and then also give them the medical records so they can kind of, because they weren't in the hospital with you, they weren't in the delivery room with you, so there's no way for the attorney to actually know what happened. But based on what you tell them and the records, they can start to try to piece together the story from a medical legal perspective.
That's right, and that is very important. The attorneys we're here to be objective. We're here to give you our opinions as to what we think. And one more thing before we go, our opinions aren't the end all be all.
Exactly.
I mean, our opinions are not the end all be all. We may look at a case, we may say one thing, we may see it going in one direction, but that doesn't mean that you should not go out and get another attorney to look at it or have another opinion. You should do that. I would hope that you would do that because you want to just make sure that you're doing as much as possible, getting as many perspectives as possible, so you and your family can make the best decision moving forward. All right, that's going to be it for today's talk. Again, I am Marcus Boston, and
I'm Renee Boston,
and we are attorneys in Maryland who practice primarily birth injury, birth trauma cases, and medical malpractice. That's going to be it for today, guys. We'll see you next time.